Type 25.
여격을 취하여 사형식으로 쓰일 수 없는 사명식 동사.
Chris donated the money to charity. He donated $100 to them. The architect selected a house for the couple. Please deliver this book to him. He contributes money to a fund. Let me introduce Mr. Brown to you. He recommended the dictionary to me. They announced his death to some friends only. The emotion communicated itself to him. She confessed her secret to me. Please say something to the audience. Don't mention the matter to anyone. His words convey nothing at all to me. They addressed a complaint to the police. We delegated 2 members to the convention. Tom distributed apples to the children. She expressed this wish to him. I explained the schedule to her. He didn't transfer property to his son. They transported goods to London by plane. He whispered something to her. This presented a problem to him. I entrusted the child to his care. He appropriated the extra income to the payment of the debt. Tom retrieved his fortunes on the stock market. They emancipated a country from tyranny. They extorted a confession from a person. I extracted examples from a book. They'll walk right up to you and grab pieces of bread from your hand. Plastic can be produced from oil. These words are derived from German. The company organized its workers into many committees. He was seized with remorse. The firemen rescued the people from the burning house. I withdrew savings from an account. We managed to wrest a victory from the enemy. She stole the money from the safe. He composed their arguments into a coherent essay. Don't forget to return my book to me. Type 26.
명사구와 as, 포 전치사구를 취하는 동사.
People recognized him as a genius. He took me for a man he knew. He took me for a fool. He took these words as evidence. He acknowledged the baby as his child. Would you describe her as reserved? The report was intended as a preliminary survey. You can use scissors as a can opener. She is frequently mistaken for her mother. He was cast as Hamlet. This card certifies me as a member of the club. They chose him as their president. He was diagnosed as an alcohol abuser. They employed Mr. Smith as an accountant. Employ a pen for sketching. I wonder who entered me for the contest. Jane engaged him as a bodyguard. He was highly esteemed for his scholarship. He established himself as a poet. He is hailed as the father of modern anthropology. She identified the bag as hers by telling what it contained. He was inducted as treasurer. She qualified herself for the job. Government qualified them as voters. They ranked the author as an immortal poet. I value him for his honesty. I view his political opinions as potentially dangerous. His private life revealed him as a quiet family man. They trained Tom as a doctor. What defines us as human? Accept things as they are. I regard him as a good teacher. Don't interpret his silence as consent. Type 27.
전치사구를 문맥에 따라 다른 유형으로 요구하는 경우.
Bill blamed Harry for the accident. Bill blamed the accident on Harry. Mary provided funds for him. Mary provided him with funds. The government supplied blankets for the homeless. The government supplied the homeless with blankets. The doctor injected the nutrient into her. The doctor injected her with the nutrient. They loaded the truck with furniture. They loaded furniture onto the truck. Tom scattered the lawn with weedkiller. Tom scattered weedkiller on the lawn. The government settled the area with immigrants. The government settled immigrants in the area. Tom sprayed paint on the wall. Tom sprayed the wall with paint. I stuck my finger on a needle. I stuck a needle into my finger. The teacher crowded children into a bus. The teacher crowded a bus with children. I have to hang curtains on the window. I have to hang the window with curtains. Type 28.
보충어로 to 전치사구와 내포절을 취하는 동사. 어떤 방식으로 내용을 전달하는지 묘사하는 동사.
John mentioned to me that they were sick. She explained to me that she was late on account of the bus strike. He said to us that he was sorry. He proposed to us that it should be done at once. He remarked to me that tomorrow would be a cold day. I signaled to my friend that it was time for dinner. He suggested to me that I run for the presidency this time. She complained to me that she did not have enough to do. Type 29.
보충어로 명사구와 전치사구 WH 문절을 취하는 동사.
I asked him about whether my passport would be stamped. He interested her in what he was planning to do. He informed me of what he decided to do. You don't have to remind me of how pretty she is. Type 30.
보충어로 명사구와 전치사 VING를 취하는 동사. 누군가에게 무엇을 금지하거나 야기하는 동사, 묻거나 비난하는 동사.
I prevented him from ruining his health. I talked him into going to Chicago. I asked him about John's having been there. I charge his acquittal to there having been no witnesses. He told us about there having been no competitors. I restrain the children from arguing. 11. Object-raising verb.
목적어 인상동사. 내포절의 주어가 모문의 목적어로 인상되는 동사.
Type 31.
보충어로 명사구와 to 부정사를 취하는 오형식 동사.
Katie believes there to be a dog in the garage. I told him to see a doctor. I like him to see a doctor. They don't like the house to be left empty. I asked him to come early. I expected him to come early. I wouldn't want you to lose your way.
Jack prefers for his wife to drive the truck.
I dislike him to smoke. What caused him to act like that? It's impossible to get her to understand the theory. Her mother meant her to be a diplomat. He requires the students to present their papers. Life is tougher than you assume it to be. They are held to be good for the stomach. I observe him to be trustworthy. He is widely supposed to support the revolution. I found him to be a smoker. I believe Leslie to be aggressive. Type 32.
목적어 인상동사로서 보충어로 명사구와 VING를 취하는 오형식 동사.
I dislike him stealing money. I dislike him driving my car. Peter stopped the vehicle crashing into the fence. Can you imagine they're doing such a thing? I don't mind you opening the window. She remembered him saying so. She hates the train being late. I discouraged him from buying that junk car. My secretary saves me from having to write letters myself.